She's part of the, I'm part of the support team.
Wait, can you see my eye?
Hi, happy Friday. This is Super Bowl weekend, and so we are going to start things off with a bang, and we are going to make some nice bologna sandwiches, and I'm going to make some nice tofu sandwiches for the vegetarians, but it's going to be really fun, and here we go. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of butter into a pan. And here's the pan right here, and I've had it on, so it's kind of hot and it's gonna sizzle just a little bit. Whoa! There goes the butter. And it is just going to, oh Lord. So it's a little, so the pot even might, the pan might even be a little too hot. But guess what? Who cares? It's not a big deal. So anyway, as that is nice and hot, we're gonna put in 2 slices of bologna. I also cut them because I guess that's a big rule. I didn't know that a while ago, and if you don't, it becomes like this ball thing. It's really weird. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put a few in here, and it's gonna be so good for the men in my life. And what he loves is bologna sandwiches with just Wonder Bread, which actually I never buy. I never ever buy. My mom would just like die because I never buy white bread. I only buy wheat. But tonight it was like a big deal. He was like, "Babe, do something fun." So I'm doing this, and so I bought actually white Wonder Bread, which is crazy. And he is like very just simple. He just wants to be simple. That's it. And all he wants is his Wonder Bread. And we are going to put some, mustard on it. And we're also going to, woo, that's really hot. And we're also going to put some yellow chilies. So I'll come back in just a second, but that's how it goes, okay? Okay, let's get a little plate for this. We're doing one toasted. And we are doing one untoasted. We're doing these bad boys. Necessary for sure. Did you find it? Okay. This is for my bunny. We're going to go ahead and go like this. Woo! So there's 2 for him on one sandwich. Mustard. And one toasted, one untoasted. I made 2 sandwiches for my husband. One is toasted, one is untoasted, which was his preference. The other thing he absolutely had to have, I guess this is a must, is these little yellow chilies. And we didn't know the name of the little yellow chilies until we looked it up. But yeah, this is what they're called here. And they're really fun to eat. So here you go. Here's the simplest version of bologna sandwiches. Now we're going to do a little bit extra. It's actually super funny because my kids always say, "Oh, Mom, you're so extra," which obviously I am. And so we are going to make some bologna sandwiches, but we're going to make them like extra. We're going to put like all kinds of other kinds of ingredients in them. And the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to make kind of the same exact style of sandwich, but we're going to make it with tofu. And I've cut it all up, and we're going to grill it in olive oil, but that's all coming up. So this is the extra I'm talking about. This is how extra I am. So I'm just going to go like this a little bit because it's going to be good. I'm telling you. I know these things. I just know that things are going to be good. And what we did actually is we just got a little bit of olive oil, and we just started frying the stuff. So in my son's sandwich, this is what he's gonna have. And it's gonna be like so good. He's gonna love it. So uno, dos, ha-ha. Talk about flipping so good. The other thing that I actually also want to mention is whenever I cook, I always cook kind of in like big multitudes, because my rule of thumb is I have kind of an open door policy, and if anybody comes into my house, my kids' friends, my husband's friends, you know, just anybody pretty much. What if cousins come over? I want to make sure that everyone has enough to eat. So lots of times I buy lots of stuff, and I can make it in just 2 seconds, because I want to make sure that whenever you come into my house, you feel it, and my house lifts you up, and everybody feels welcome. And again, this all comes from my open door policy. So anyway, here I go. So again, this is my son's first sandwich. And we're just going to put this nice top on here. We're going to add some more bologna. And this was actually a request that he had for himself. So the second sandwich is like kind of fancy, because he's all fancy nowadays. And he is going to have some jelly. Because he's all, you know what, I'm going to have some jelly. I think it's going to be really, really bomb. And I'm like, you know what, you might as well, because you never know if things taste good or not. So here he goes. He's doing it himself. So these props go to Roman. But here you go. I bet it'll be really good. So try it. You never know. Okay. So the second half of my video is just the vegetarian version of bologna sandwiches. And what we're going to do is so this is just regular tofu. And all I did was cut it. And I'm just going to put it in to the pan, and it's actually going to be really good. Tofu actually just kind of takes on the flavor of what is being cooked with it, and this I don't know, because I'm not a scientist and I'm not like a tofu expert, but I have had tofu many years growing up. Another great story, and I have to give props to my mom, actually, because she raised me on macrobiotics. When I was growing up, my grandmother, her mom, was very sick, and she had breast cancer, and macrobiotics is known for kind of like curing it, and my grandmother actually ended up passing away from breast cancer. But in the meantime, she had all of us go on this amazing diet, this macrobiotics. And so when I was little, you know, it wasn't amazing then. And I was the only kid that had like, you know, miso soup and tofu stuff and, you know, popcorn instead of chips and all that kind of stuff. But actually it made me kind of a well-rounded person. And I learned how to do stuff like this. And so I'm just, you know, just kind of taking it, you know, just like bringing back some of the stuff that I learned, and I'm like, oh, my mom would have done this. Oh, we could have done this. Anyway, here's the tofu. So what we're doing, and it's just cooking away here. And so we're gonna turn it super quick with this handy dandy spatula here. We're gonna turn them. And I'm also going to turn this. The other thing to be really that you really have to do is make friends with your stove. So I was brought up in a gas stove family, but when I grew up, I had to make friends with my electric stove, and so it is so important to just like make friends with your stove so that you know how to use it. So anyway, little tiny tidbits. I probably talk too much. Anyway, here we go. Here is some salt, some pink salt, and we're just going to put it just a little bit on here so that it's kind of flavorful. And we'll do it on both sides. And then we have some pepper. And while this cooks, and again, this is going to be really good. And while this cooks, I'll show you some other items that we can put on here. I'm going to put the same items. I'm going to put the nice, you know, chilies and pickles and tomatoes, and we're gonna fry these, and it's gonna be really good. The other thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna use some sprouts, and I thought this would be a really good addition. And I have some other, I think it's so funny, I think my family ate almost all my white bread, so our sandwiches are actually gonna have to be eaten on wheat bread. So that's gonna be really funny. Anyway, that's all I have for right now. See you in a sec. Okay, also, so the bread's ready. It's toasted, the tofu's ready. And instead of mustard, I'm going to use this amazing beet hummus. Oh my God, I didn't know it existed. It is so good. It is like, I could eat it like by the spoonful. Like I could eat it and then it's just so good. Don't let the color make you afraid of it, because it is like, I can't even tell you how good this is. It is like amazing. Anyway, so here we go. This is what we're gonna put on here first. We're gonna put this good hummus on, beet hummus, and then we're going to put some of this tofu in it. And again, yummy, yummy, yummy. The sandwich is just gonna be so good. And it's like the same kind of, Anyway, so we have the same thing. We're gonna have some tomato and pickles and chili. So at the end, we'll just go like this. And we'll just cut it. And we'll put some chips with it. Because I don't care if you're a vegetarian or not, you love chips, especially Lay's. And here we go. Here's for my girl.
Oh my God. Wow.
Where we're free to cheer, free to love.
Mom, it's actually like very good.
Movies and shows. TV, download the app right now and start watching for free.
Mortgage rates have hit a record low. Interested in